Now, concerning the Israelis, the cynicism of the Israeli generals is that they refer to this as mowing the lawn. That is to say, every couple of years, 2006, they tried mowing the lawn, and they got a bloody nose. 2008, during the U.S. Bush to Obama interregnum, they tried it again 2 years ago. It's mowing the lawn. Now, there are two sides. On the one hand, the rocket coverage by Hamas of the main Israeli population centers is growing thanks to that Fajr missile from Iran. They can now at least aim at almost 100%, certainly more than 90% of the Israeli population, right? Not just Tel Aviv, but also Haifa, way up north. Haifa used to worry about the rockets coming from Lebanon in 2006. So there is that. There's also that Netanyahu obviously fears the ground war, right? You send tanks and troops into Gaza, there will be losses, right? They've gotten some stuff across the border. On the other hand, the unfortunate nature of the Hamas leadership is what I pointed out before, right? This Haniyeh is a very dubious character. Can you imagine? He supports the Syrian terrorist rebels against Assad, and he supports Morsi, who was about to bring Egypt into a war with Assad, in which Gaza would have been a battlefield in the middle of a bloodbath if they were lucky. No, I'm sorry. No confidence in Haniyeh and Hamas. And remember, I only bring this up because of what Haniyeh is doing today. Hamas was founded by Sharon, as everybody knows, right? He promoted them as a counterweight to the more rational PLO. PLO has its own problems, corruption, and everything else. So here we have it. The Egyptians, the problem, of course, is that General Sisi and company view Hamas as a sponsor of terrorism in the Sinai, and I imagine they're exactly right. So there's a problem, right? That the blockade of Gaza is now not just the Israelis, but now more openly by the Egyptians than ever in the past. So this is the situation, and of course the Iron Dome works up to a point, but unfortunately, based on news accounts, you can't tell how well it's working. I guess the casualty count indicates that Iron Dome is having some effect in favor of the Israelis. Now, what should happen? A settlement will have to be imposed. I'm sorry, we cannot leave this to these petty politicians. There's not one of them that has the format of a statesman. So everybody knows what it is. It's a Palestinian state, independent, sovereign, in the 67 borders. Then there are three. There's the status of Jerusalem. This can be finessed. And then the question of the borders. Well, the borders we've done, but the right of return on the one hand for the Palestinians and the settlers who will have to be displaced to dismantle many of these settlements. I say that these can also be negotiated and they can be solved through indemnification. In other words, by paying considerable sums of money to Palestinians who may not be able to go back to Israel, must understand this, and to settlers who for sure will have to leave, many of them will, the Palestinian territories, unless agreed-on swaps can be arranged, but they've gone too far with the settlements. This can no longer be done. I suggest the European Union come forward with a lot of this money, along with the U.S. There would also be necessary security guarantee for Israel and a security guarantee for the Palestinian state, too. That's why it could be done by the U.S. and Russia, and a peacekeeping force to make sure that sticks. At that point, Haniyeh would be out of business, Netanyahu, Avigdor Lieberman, every one of these demagogues out of business, and the world peace would take a giant step forward. Why not take this opportunity instead of petty quarrels? Back in a minute. Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Webster Tarpley here in Washington, D.C. Hey, they say that Romney may run, right? The top Mormon ideologue, Jason Chaffetz, says that Romney is sure to run for the presidency. Well, get ready. Time to get your copy, if you haven't already, of Just Too Weird, my study of Mormon history, and that's Polygamy, Theocracy, and Subversion, the Mormon Takeover of America, published right before the presidential election 2012.